What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is July 11th of 2018. Well, folks, as you can probably tell from my voice, I'm a little bit sick at the moment, or just a little bit stuffed up. I've been traveling a lot recently. I just got out of Zurich, Switzerland, where I had a great time. The weather's been awesome, and I just flew actually out here to Killikee in Ireland. It's along the west coast of Ireland, and the weather's much better than what it was last time when I came to visit back in January. Well, anyways, I just want to let you all know that I appreciate your patience and everything. I know I haven't been as active on content as of recent. Not only have I been keeping relatively busy on my travels, but along with that as well, I haven't always had a good signal Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So because of that, that's why I'm recording here on my phone. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and do a real quick update because there is some things that people have been keeping up with in the market, and there's a few things that I want to talk about a little bit. I'll generally be talking a little bit about price action, kind of my rationale behind it, and then along with that as well, I want to spend some time to talk about the supposed Bancor hack that happened recently, along with a few different topics such as the CBOE launching futures and a lot of these new exchanges popping up. We already talked about this before, the trading fee system, but I want to spend some time talking about that as well. So going out first here, guys, in regards to price action, there's not too much of a catalyst explaining things. Again, as we talk about on the channel, there's not always a reason for things. If you tend to look at the chart, you'll realize that we're not seeing much liquidity either to the upside or the downside. And what we notice as well is that we were holding a decent level of resistance. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's around 6,800. I don't have my chart with me right now, but it was generally the level that we were trying to test. I talked about it in the previous video, and I don't think we were able to really break up above that. And because of that, obviously some liquidity came into the sell side. Some people are selling pretty decent chunks of Bitcoin, but nothing, again, that gets me worried about anything in that sense. So the main thing I want to see is continued support at 6,000. The more we hold that, the more confident I will feel in Bitcoin, the more confident I'm going to feel that over the next few weeks, again, we're going to be repeating what we saw back in 2014. So that's my general objective, hopefully seeing a nice 50% uptick in markets over the next few weeks. Going on to talk about some of these other things such as Bancor, I want to spend some time to kind of roughly explain this, guys. This is something that actually someone had pointed out to me. There was an article they had read, and now a lot of people are looking at it now. It was explaining some of the issues in regards to the actual initial contract for Bancor. And inside the contract, there's a lot of issues that can lead towards centralized points of failure. And this is the same with a lot of ICOs. When you have someone who kind of executes the contract, the person who is the one creating the contract and deploying the contract, I guess is the proper term, there's a lot of code within a lot of these contracts for ICOs where within the token structure, they get access to all types of different features. They can freeze transactions, they can stop all transactions, they can add new tokens to the exchange. And basically, from what people are getting at the moment is that we had someone find a way to breach getting the private key to whoever was the deployer of that contract. There's really no other way around it from what we can see. There's no flaws in the code. I'm no code expert myself, but from generally what most people have been analyzing, it's mostly due to the fact that someone found the private key. So not too much of a worry on decentralized exchanges, but it does tell us, much like the article that I'll leave linked down below, it talks about is that we have to make sure to review the code and understand what we're getting into. A lot of ICOs do the exact same thing. They have those systems inside the code where they can actually manipulate the amount of tokens in supply, they can add new ones, they can freeze transactions, all this crazy stuff. So we can't have central points of failure like that, even though it might provide some sense of convenience in the future. Next up, I want to spend some time talking about the CBOE. They recently launched a Bitcoin ETF proposal. So this is really exciting stuff. It's good to see that they've been making a case. If you read their proposal to the SEC, you read all kinds of details. They say that commodities markets are manipulated. I think they claim that commodity markets are manipulated more than cryptocurrencies. And I got to say, as much as I love crypto, it's probably not true. But there is some manipulation in those markets. And we have futures contracts, we have ETFs. We allow all that to still be out there. There's been lots of manipulation in silver markets and gold markets. It's been going on for years, and specifically in certain banking institutions that are quite respected. So with that, it's good to see that more people are proposing after the ETF kind of door has been reopened at the SEC. And I think with the proposal that we talked about, that the SEC is going to allow ETFs to be expedited, to be created faster, I think that could also open up a lot of applications as well for more future ETFs in the Bitcoin and crypto space. So positive news in that sense. There's been a lot of positive things coming out. Last thing I want to talk about, though, is something that has some good and some bad. The exchange space is something that I've been keeping an eye on for a while because I've been wanting to see some competitors come up against OKX, Binance, Huobi, because there's lots of corruption going on, guys. I'm just going to keep it short in that sense. A lot of dirty tricks going on, from what I've been learning and hearing from people in the space. And usually has to do with listing tokens. I work and advise for a lot of different projects. We try to get our coins and tokens listed on exchanges, but there's a lot of manipulation in the sense of charging money, getting 1 or 2% of the token supply and instantly dumping it on exchange. You probably see it every time an ICO comes onto exchange. It tends to happen. But anyways, there's been a lot of new exchanges coming up, and with that comes these new exchange tokens, the fee mining concept. And I gotta say, sometimes, guys, something that sounds too good to be true tends to usually be too good to be true. So just be very careful. There's a lot of exchanges like Fcoin and all these exchanges that are using market makers and bots, and they're propping up their volume. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. You got to stay away from this stuff, guys. And not financial advice in that sense. You can choose to do what you want, but many of these are going to be deemed as securities. But along with that as well, you have to be very careful because there's a very big pump and dump mentality to these. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for a lot of alternatives to exchanges. So if I find some that look good, there's a few that I'm watching at the moment that are taking these unique new models and building a better concept around it, bringing in the community into the exchange and really allowing them to have a sense of voice or reputation in what they're trading. I'm going to be definitely looking for those alternatives, and I'll share them with you guys as soon as possible. But yeah, most of them, guys, you have to be careful because it's a big trend in China right now. There's a lack of regulation in China, and many people are getting away with crazy things out in that space. So just stay alert for that. Be careful. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in the space right now, guys. If you have anything you want me to talk about in the next video, let me know down in the comments down below. Again, I'll be trying to get more videos out. Just have to get back to Limerick where I'll have some Wi-Fi. I'll be able to do a normal daily update, do some content on some projects that I'm keeping up with. But until then, guys, I'll try to grab some photos and videos for you to share in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all soon, and take care.